I don't even know. We're back. Um, we're back at the gates of Silvernock. I don't want to be here. I do not want to be here. I just want to go home. I collapsed to the grass in the shadow of the unknown pioneer statue, completely worn out. It is actually our camp. Mesher dwelled on the words. And indeed, it looks the same. We have to carry her to the cabin, Alyssa mentioned quietly. Yeah. Got up with a considerable effort and prepared for the last run. Well, we made it. The obvious choice was Olga's cabin. Most likely because we managed to come through the last night without major problems. At least we're still alive. And I think it's actually bigger than other cabins too, so that's nice. Me and the other were sprawling, exhausted on one bed, and the girls were undressing Lena on the other. Don't look, said Masha sternly. Not like there's anything worth looking at. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Lena's my wife, man. Don't do that. You're supposed to laugh with me. I snorted and turned away, giving out a harsh poke in the ribs, making him follow my suit. We're gonna go get some water. Probably rummage through the canteen too. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this! Want a string along, Desu? She grinned. No, thanks. At least take that pipe with you. I said uncertainly. You have to give her the wooden sword. Do you really think it can help? I sighed heavily and closed my eyes. Well, be careful. The door closed after a second. Sleeping already? Ada's whispering reached me. It's like one could sleep in such a... All at once I heard Lena's moan from the other side of the bed. I sat up on my elbows and looked at her. Lena was tossing and turning under the blanket. Suddenly, she opened her eyes and abruptly turned to face me. I thought she was naked. Oh, God. Devil's grin was frozen on her face. The same one I've seen yesterday evening. Way too hot, eh? She burst into laughter. I felt shivers going up my spine. Ability to speak was vanishing. What? Asked Otto through his sleep. Turned to him sharply. Look! I waved my hands, pointing at Lena's bed. What? He got up and looked where I was pointing at first, then back to me. I turned just to see Lena sleeping peacefully. Didn't you hear it? What? Lena was awake and said, Oh, seems like you've got sunstroke too. He turned towards the wall. But I'm absolutely sure that's what I heard and seen it. Well, it could be true that the heat's got to me at last, but it all seems to be exactly like that. But it's not Lena. At the very least, it's not the Lena I knew, as if she was possessed by the devil. I lay down and pulled a blanket over my head. Just wanted to sleep. What? Oh, yes. Hold on. Hold on. Reading, um, and, what else should I get? Eh, no. Should I go with that? And there. Okay. Sorry, guys. I was ordering food. Because I only eat like every 12 hours. I really wanted to sleep, but realization, because we have no food here. But realization that I might never be able to wake up again if I fall asleep, that was keeping me up and running. Oh God, I'm not sure how long I've been laying like that, trembling with every rustle. But eventually the door burst open, steps descended in the room. Barely peered under the blanket, caught a glimpse of Alyssa and Masha entering the bucket of water as the bags. I see you want a bit cuckoo here. Yeah, sort of. I replied with a trembling voice, trying to flash a smile. Everything's okay? Seems like. Threw a glance at Lena yet again, but she was still sleeping quietly. Maybe it was indeed just my imagination. Sure, given the condition of such extreme emotional stress and fatigue, I might be seeing things. I got up with considerable effort, took a cup at the table, and dipped some water. So what are we going to do next? We'll have to stay here for a while. Little Olga has called the police. Thundered Alyssa. Yeah, but everyone disappeared after that. In any case, until Lena comes to her senses. Although, if I'll ever happen to see her like that, I would frankly wish that she won't wake up. Alyssa laid at Lena's bed, and Masha sat down next to me. Get some sleep. She gently caressed me over my head. Can you really sleep with all this happening? Well, keep the guard. You look really tired. I guess she was right. Okay, it was just a nap. Wake me up before evening. Also, apparently one of my commenters has been He's been like telling me what all the characters are references to. Like apparently, you heard me mention it last episode, but um, oh, so he just told me that this is one of the best endings after, and it's after Yolia and Lena Bad End. Get Lena Bad End. It's much more interesting. I don't want that one. No. You know, I just want my happy ending. I'm content with that. She hasn't said a word, just smiled instead. Promise. I promise. Brother Mesha quietly. But yeah, I'll probably go through the bad endings after the good endings. If, you know, I don't, you know, just matters how it goes out. Close my eyes and instantly tumbled into the dream. Here they come again, the grasshoppers. Come on, I don't want grasshoppers. It's the King Grasshopper? Whoa, he's in this game? Huge swamp green monstrosity that with really long curved legs, with wings that would match a large airframe with their wingspan and enormous pitch black eyes. So it's been mentioning grasshoppers a lot. He was hanging over me, grinning and started to splutter something really loud. I still couldn't get anything in that language, but judging my intonation and intonation was that wait, is that supposed to be intonation? How do you say it? Like just the feeling you get. Like, is that how you spell it? Intonation. Intuition, is that how it's pronounced? I don't know. There wasn't anything nice you would hear in the morning news. I wanted to get away, but he clutched me tightly with his wretched claw. I could hear my bones cracking, felt my ribs breaking, piercing my internal organs with sharp splinters. I felt hundreds of hammers, especially inside my skull. That's not good. My vision faded, and the next moment the fountains of blood and flesh were spraying all over the place. This isn't good! What? I jumped up in cold sweat. My own scream still reverberated in the room. It took me several seconds to get rid of the dim in my eyes. I began to look around frantically and realized that it was evening already, and it was completely dark outside. Good grief that we haven't turned off the light yet yesterday. Master was lying asleep next to me, while Elder was curling up on the floor. Lennon was laid on the other bed, tightly wrapped in the blanket. Yet Alyssa was nowhere to be seen. Hey! Orc mashed up with a few rough pushes. What? She came to her senses slowly. Didn't I ask? Sorry. Fell asleep. She had a guilty expression on her face, and I felt sick. I shouldn't have relied on her. At least I could have set up an alarm. I woke Elder up. Where's Alyssa? I don't know, said Masha worriedly. And who knows? We were all asleep. Well, she was sleeping here. And come on, Alyssa! She was the only useful one. No, she can't be dead. Honestly, I think Alyssa was the only one that I could trust, really. Her eyes were darting guiltily. And then he fell asleep, showing her head and let a heavy sigh. I mean, I should be trusting Miku, but I just kind of feel something's up with her. Oh, perfect, just perfect. I pounded my fist on the table, making Masha jump. Okay, you sit here and we'll go and fight her. Alone? Her face suddenly got an expression of fright. Alone? I reckon it was you who told me that it was not worth panicking. Yeah, but it's not... Okay, fine, I'll go alone. But, do you really want to sit... Or you really want to sit here with Anna? Asha kept silent. It's dangerous to go alone. Noticed Rowdy that seemed to have been fully awakened. It's not dangerous for her to sit here all alone. I felt that there's no point in arguing, so I got up, grabbed my trusty pipe, and headed to the door. In any case, given the people disappearing into thin air, one can't feel safe anywhere and in any company. Of course, still could turn out that Alyssa just went somewhere. To the toilet, for example. Although, given how frightened she looked, I guess she would have woken Masha, or just shouted until morning. Anything but going alone through this camp. I braced myself, poured the handle, got outside. Swept my eyes across the landscape. Oh god. No! Saw Alyssa hanging high above the ground on the tree right in front of the cabin. This is the same background as before, though. A sharp pain pierced my temples and I collapsed to the ground. The horror was so irresistible that I literally felt my whole body being bound in steel chains. Blinded with fear, I hardly managed to crawl back to the cabin and close the door. What happened? Masha jumped up to me. Don't look. I grasped her arm. Don't go outside. What's the matter? She reached out to the door handle. I attempted to stop her, but I was so weak and I couldn't let out but a groan of despair. Opening the door, Masha screamed and froze in her tracks. Gathering last ounces of strength, I got up and kicked the door shut. The next moment, Master lost her consciousness and fell into my arms. I carried her to my bed and put it down next to the shaking router. His face implied that he's definitely not interested in knowing what happened there. All those screams woke Lena up. She barely rose in her bed and gave us a glance. What's happening? She asked in a whisper. I didn't know how I should reply. I felt a scream rising up my neck throat, but I managed to muffle it with a hollow soul. Lena was horrified, but she still couldn't realize what exactly happened there. Don't go outside, I moaned. Like Masha, she wasn't the one to argue. An oppressive silence ensued. Even the grasshopper seemed to quiet down in order to add suspense to the situation. Masha was lying... Wait, so is that the first time Lena's woken up since, she passed out? Masha was lying still on my lap. Router was quivering in the corner of the bed, and Lena was sitting in front of me with an expression of doom and despair. I stared at the door with unblinking gaze, waiting for the very moment it will burst open, and then... My fear couldn't manifest in any concrete form. A homicidal maniac, a monster, an alien. That was the horror of a non-being, darkness, and emptiness. I wasn't afraid that I'll be turned to pieces like Slavia, or I would become a zombie like Morgana. I was afraid to disappear, vanish without a trace from this world. Master let out a quiet moan. I've just seen a nightmare. It wasn't a dream. She opened her eyes widely and looked at me with horror. Then, there... Oh, don't cry, Miku. Don't look! I shouted and hastily embraced her. Lena was crying loudly, ran up to me and pushed herself against me, trembling all over. Long minutes dragging on in this agonizing silence. So, what are we gonna do now, Desu? Asked Master through her tears. She didn't seem so self-confident now, although we were all in the same situation. Time passed by, yet nothing was happening. We had to make a decision. Couldn't say that I'd get back to my senses after what I've seen, but I still managed to feel my mind clearing up. I knew one thing for certain. We can't stay here. And it wasn't because it was more dangerous here than everywhere else. It's all because I couldn't endure staying near the corpse of Alyssa. I bet it's even more gut-wrenching experience for the girls. We have to go. I said quietly. I felt Masha and Lena hugging me even tighter. We have to. Daughter stopped shaking and left the bed. How are you feeling? Asked Lena. She said nothing. Can you walk? Probably. So, I just want to know what's going on. So does Catgirl have anything to do with this? If she does, I don't really imagine we'll find out until her out, but... So what do we know so far? Okay, everyone's disappeared except the 5 of us. Well, 6 if you count Slavia. Because, I mean, she technically hasn't disappeared. Oriana's kind of like a zombie. Lena is insane. Like, but not the Yandere insane, just insane. Wait, am I still calling him Router? We have to run. At night, it'll be easier to go. But I should try to make a humble objection. Yeah, I know that we decided to stay yet. Now we have to get out of here. I have turned to Router. You do realize that they shouldn't see all that. He gave a barely visible nod, although Router hasn't known what happened to Alyssa. It was obvious that his vivid imagination presented him with so many gruesome guesses during all this time. So probably he's even more depressed than me. Okay, we're gonna hold hands and go. I'll go first and lead the way. Masha goes next, then Lena, then you. I looked at the girls. They were just sitting with their heads hung and were sobbing quietly. Ready? Nobody replied. Wait, have we used up all the water yet? Guess we should... In case we... they should have probably drunk it. Because, especially Lena, since she had the heat stroke. One can't ever be ready for such a situation. I took Masha's hand, turned around and gave Lena another heavy look. Okay, now shut your eyes and don't open it no matter what. You got that? Yeah. Lena nodded. I stilled myself, burst the door open and got out, holding Masha's hand. Beware of the steps. When we made our way outside, I darted a final glance at Alyssa. What I've seen now hasn't sent me sprawling on the ground. Although my heart was racing frantically, I was feeling sick and dizzy while my stomach turned. She was hanging about 5 meters above the ground, several neckerchiefs tied together in a string tied around her throat. Bulging eyes, protruded tongue, the putrefactions already working on the body. It looked like she didn't die a couple hours ago, but at least a couple of days. An expression of agony and inhuman suffering was permanently frozen on her face. It was clear that she couldn't do such a thing to herself. Good Lord, who came up with this? Maybe we are in hell? I hastened my steps away with a diabolical scene, dragging the others along. I ordered them to open their eyes only when we've reached the square. She's still there? Asked Masha, not letting go of my hand. I just nodded. Who, Alyssa? Then I cried out loud and burst into tears. Masha cuddled her and tried to comfort. What happened to her? Muttered Rowdy with a faltering tongue. I bet you won't want to know that. For a while, I just stood there and looked at the moon. Why is the moon capitalized? Right, do you capitalize the moon? Well, I mean, I guess so. Not for sure. Here we are. The people being carried out. I'm wondering about the correct capitalization of the moon. Lena was sobbing. Rowdy was walking circles around us, and Masha sat down on the bench and buried her face in her hands. Okay, it's time, I said quietly. Yet nobody moved. We can't stay here. I walked to Masha, leaned over and took her hand. She raised her eyes, filled with tears at me and nodded. Slowly proceeded to the bus stop. The night has fallen upon the camp. Along our way, I noticed that the grasshoppers are almost quiet. Keeping silent for some time, now they've resumed the nasty song, but this time, it was much quieter. I might say, a little bit more respectful. I'd rather go to the mine again. Their daytime progressive noise changed the nocturne for violin and orchestra. Is there any chance that they're conscious about what's going on here? Of course, if we assume that there are grasshoppers in hell, too. We came to the bus stop and stopped, hesitating. So, where are we going? Asked Masha, wiping her tears. Okay, we already tried going to the right. Let's go to the left. But there's no town there. Just a couple of days ago, there's no camp to the right. Maybe we shouldn't. Then it stopped quietly. We have no choice. I won't stay here any longer. We were just about to get moving, as we heard some noises approaching us from far away. Straining my eyes, got a glance of someone coming here by the road. A bus! Exclaimed Rowdy with a joy in his voice. Shut up, you fool. That's not a bus. Some people approaching. I hissed at him. Lots of people, said Masha anxiously. Oh, it's perfectly clear that we shouldn't stay here any longer. Turned around and seen someone approaching us from the other side of the road. The noise was getting louder. Imagine it, just like a bunch of grasshoppers driving a car. Like that one old SpongeBob episode where like what's his name, Plankton, like he gets his cousins and stuff, and he makes like a giant hand to open the safe. I remember that was a good episode. that was a long time ago. I haven't watched SpongeBob in years. Wow, I'm old. I'm not even old at all. I'm actually only 12 years old. I'm not. I was trying to think of a joke, but I had a bail and just go, I'm 12 actually. My jokes aren't funny. Although not the usual one, a much louder, distorted version. By the way, I'm not actually 12. I'm actually 13. I'm really mature for my age. A much louder, distorted version, as it had been passed through a guitar overdrive. Run! I shouted, yet nobody moved. Oh, screw it. I grabbed Masha's and Lena's hand and started off back to the camp. Did I leave electronic? Girls were floundering in the stupor, so I ended up literally dragging them along. Having dashed into the square, I stopped to catch some of my breath. Only then I realized that Rowdy was left behind. We have to go back and get him. Masha screamed and twitched towards the bus stop. Are you nuts? I pulled her hand and first to stop. You want us to meet the same fate there? Lena was trembling so wildly that I felt my right hand that was holding her become all but deathly. Keep running. Where to? Don't know. Into the woods. Returning to Olga's cabin wasn't an option. My self-preservation instinct was also suggested that we shouldn't stay in the open area as well. We dashed towards the woods. I was holding Rose' hand firmly. I think I'll call it here, guys. I think we're nearing the finale, honestly. Because we're down to the three of us now, so I can see a finale happening soon. See you guys next time. Bye, Baba Kikai.